In this section, we're going to be talking about perimeter and circumference of polygons and circles and composite figures. So first, what is a polygon? A polygon is a plane shape. That means two-dimensional on a flat surface with straight sides. To find the perimeter of a polygon, add all the sides of the polygon. You just add them up. We're also going to be looking at regular polygons, where all the sides are equal in length. To find the perimeter of a regular polygon, you're just going to multiply the number of sides by the length of one side. So if every single side, like in this example down here, is 13 centimeters because we're being told it's a regular polygon, then all we would have to do, because each one of them is 13, is multiply 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides by 13. So in this example, we would say the perimeter, and you can call that P if you want to, perimeter is 5 times 13, which is 65 centimeters. And don't forget to use units. The next example is to find the perimeter of a polygon with a missing side, and you have to take into account the shape and the angles. So if each of these are 90 degrees, which is what they're saying by these little squares in the corners, they're saying that these are right angles, then that means that these are rectangular shapes. So you can kind of say, all right, well, if I drew a line straight across right here, then that means that if this whole side right here is 21 inches and this side over here is 12 inches, then we could say 21 minus 12 is going to give us 9 inches. So that means this, what's left over here, is 9 inches. We're going to do the same thing for this missing one here. So let me erase some of this so that we can talk more clearly about it. All right, so the next one, we've got, if we split it up right here, and because they're right angles, we would write, make a line here that's, again, at a right angle. So that means if this whole thing here is 25, and over here, this is 18, then what's left is going to be 25 minus 18. So that's going to be 7. So this side right here is 7 inches. Okay, so now we're just going to add everything up. The total perimeter is going to be all of those numbers added together. So we get 25 plus 21 plus 18 plus 12 plus 7 plus 9. And there's no reason to do this in your head. It's just another place to take time and make mistakes. So use a calculator, and or you can do it in your head and then check it on a calculator, but I would at least check it on a calculator. And don't forget the units. So if these are inches, then you want to make inches your final answer. The next topic is circumference of a circle. And circumference is just a fancy name for perimeter. It's the distance around the circle. If you had a big circle and you were walking around it, it would be the distance that you walked. If you took a string and you laid it around the circle, it would be the length of the string. And remember that here we have pi times d, and here we have 2 pi r. They are the same exact thing, because remember, d is just 2 times the radius, diameter and radius. Pi can be approximated 2 different ways. If you're using decimals, we use 3.14. If you're using fractions, we can use 22/7, and then you can just cancel things. All right, so the first problem asks us to find the circumference of a circle using the diameter. So the diameter is here, and we're going to use the equation that has the diameter in it. So they want us to find the exact circumference. That means we're going to leave pi in the problem. Okay, we're going to leave pi. So the circumference is pi times d, and d in this case is 14 meters. Okay, so pi times 14. So we usually put the number before the symbol for a number. So remember, pi is still just a number, it's not a variable, but we put 14 pi. And don't forget to put meters, 14 pi meters. So that's how you do the exact circumference. Now they want us to approximate using 3.14 as pi. And remember that this little squiggly equal sign means approximately equals. Approximately equals. All right, so the circumference is 14 pi. We already found that out. And so we're just going to put 3.14 in for pi. And we're going to get 43 43.96 meters. So again, don't forget the meters. The next problem asks us to find the circumference of a circle using the radius. So always look at the problem first. And so here we have radius equals 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so it's in fractions. So we're probably going to be using 22/7 as pi when we get there. But first we're going to do the exact circumference. So the exact circumference is going to be 2 times pi times r. Okay, so 2 pi r, we're going to have 2 times pi times 3/4. Okay, so sometimes you might just want to go ahead and put the numbers together the first time you write it down. Simplifies things a little bit, but we get 2 over 1 times 3 over 4 times pi. So 4 is made up of 2 times 2. So the 2's are going to divide out, and this you're going to be left with 2 there. So we get 3/2 pi. So our final answer here is 3/2 pi, or 1.5 pi, but we're going to leave it as a fraction, which is fine. All right, approximate the circumference using 22/7 as pi. So we're going to say C equals 3/2 times pi. That's what we already found. So we're going to put 22/7 in. 3/2 times 22/7. Okay, so we can rewrite this for those who like to see all the steps. I'll go ahead and write that 22/7 is 2 times 11 on the top over 7. So now we have all prime numbers. There's nothing else to divide out. And the 2's now are going to divide out or cancel. And we're going to be left with 3 times 11 on the top. That's 33 on the top over 7. So 33/7. And we forgot something on this one, on both of them. What did we forget? Hopefully you see that we forgot inches. So the length, the circumference around the circle is in inches. And so you need to put inches on both of them. So there's only one more topic in this section, finding the perimeter of composite figures. So what is a composite figure? It is an enclosed geometric region made up of polygons and semicircles, or half circles. So remember, if you have a half circle, so here's my ugly circle, and the perimeter around the circumference around the outside, or the perimeter of it, is 2 pi r. Then the circumference of just half of it, we're just looking at the half right here, is going to be half that. Okay, so don't forget then that we're going to have, so half of the circumference of a circle is going to be 1/2 2 pi r, or it's just going to be pi r. Okay, so you can use this, or you can just put the numbers in and then divide it in half. It doesn't really matter. So let's look at the perimeter of a basketball court key. So I don't know anything about basketball, but this is a key for a basketball court. So let's look at first the rectangular area. So remember, we're not going to count this right here because that's not part of the perimeter, but we are going to use it to figure out what we're doing. So don't count it as the outer perimeter, but do use it as the, it's going to be D. Okay, that's D. All right, so we've got 19 right here and 12 right here, and then this other side again is 19 from here to here. So that's going to be the rectangular area, 19 plus 12 plus 19. And then we need the perimeter, or the circumference of half of a circle. Okay, so we're going to say the circumference of the circle. So I'll say a whole circle, I'll put them a little symbol, circumference of a circle, is going to be 2 pi r, or we're given d, so let's use that one, pi times d. Okay, so we've got d is the same here as it is over here on the right, so it's going to be 12 feet. Okay, so pi d is going to be 12 pi, but we only have half of that, so the distance around this half of the circle is going to be 1/2 of the circumference of the circle, which is going to be 6 pi. Okay, so we get 6 pi right here, which you do want to go ahead and put 3.14 into that. So we would take on the calculator 19 plus 12 plus 19 plus 6 times 3.14 is going to be 68.84. And if you want to go ahead and do this ahead of time right here, that is 18.84. Okay, and don't forget the units. This is measured in feet, so this is also measured in feet. So 68.84 feet. Right, now it's your turn to try a few. Okay, so these three are for you to try. Pause the video for a little while, give them all a shot, and then come back and all of the answers will be up. Okay, so here's the solutions to all three of these problems. In a rhombus, all four sides are the same, and don't forget this is only half of a circle, so you get 60 because you don't include this in the perimeter. This is just in the center, in the interior, I should say. So you've got 60 plus 1/2 of the circumference of a circle. So you get 91.4. Remember, these don't, these parts right here, they're equal. Those mean that they're all three equal. That's what those symbols mean. All three equal. But these on the top, we don't actually count because we're looking at the outside. So we've got 10 plus, and remember this makes a whole circle. So pi times d. And you get 41.4. This last one, you've got two 25s because it's a parallelogram, and so these two sides are equal. But the end is 10, and the other end is 10, so that is the diameter of the circle. So you get two 25s and a 10, add those up. You're going to add it to half of the circumference of a circle with a diameter of 10, and you should get 75.7. Thank you for watching.